Welcome back to Northern Kings, where stories of love, loss, and resilience from Northern Nigeria come alive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's story is not about riches or power, but about society and even family, who too often judge those who are not wealthy, forgetting the values, dignity, and humanity they still carry. It is a story of pain, endurance, and the silent strength of those blamed for circumstances beyond their control. Let's begin. Halima's story, when kindness runs dry. Halima was the second of her mother's 9 surviving children. Her mother, Hajia Fatima, had given birth 14 times, but childhood deaths stole nearly half of them. In those days, people said with pity, Allah ya ji ƙan 'ya'yanki Halima. But few asked why so many little lives were lost. Poverty has its quiet ways of swallowing children. Life in their house was harsh but dignified. Hajia Fatima would turn a few coins into a meal. She sold okra, firewood, and small bowls of tuwo from the front of their compound in Yola. Their father was a Quranic teacher, and when the rains allowed, a farmer. The steady hand who insisted all his children, boys and girls alike, finish at least primary school. It was rare in their neighborhood, but Baba would say, if I cannot give you gold, I will give you letters. Some of Halima's brothers climbed a little higher. Two stopped after secondary school. Others, Two others scraped through diplomas and found work at the local government office in Yola. None were rich, but they carried themselves with the pride of men who earned from their sweat. One sibling stood out, Bilkisu, the fifth born. As a child, she was Halima's shadow, but fate drew a different map for her. She married her childhood sweetheart, a young local government councillor at the time. That was 22 years ago. Today he was a senator, his name in radio jingles, his face on billboards. Despite his rise, he hadn't forgotten his roots. Bilkisu's husband, Senator Sarki, was known for his quiet generosity, giving out zakat, paying fees for nieces and nephews, keeping the wider family from drowning completely. In their home, abundance felt normal. They had 7 children, 2 studied in Sudan, another prepared to leave for Egypt. The rest filled the compound with laughter, expensive toys, and the easy confidence of children who had never known hunger. Halima's path was different. She had been married to Ismaila for 28 years. Their love was tested in ways that would break many. For her first 10 years in marriage, she endured loss after loss. She had 8 miscarriages. People whispered that she was cursed. Some told Ismaila to take another wife. He never did. She finally had Aliyu after she had given up hope of ever becoming a mother. He was 14 now, tall for his age, with his father's calm eyes and an intelligence that sometimes surprises even her. 5 years later, she had Habu, a mischievous and bright young boy. They were her treasures, proof that patience and prayer bear fruit. Ismaila was a butcher. He earned little, enough to clothe and feed them, but he loved loudly in small ways. He always brought back sweets for Aliyu or roasted granules for Habu. And when he could afford, he bought clothes for Halima. He would say, we are already blessed with each other. Then he became ill. It started with a cough, a fever, and then he became weak. Doctors could not explain it, and the cost of his medicine emptied the little money they had. Within months, Ismail lost a lot of weight and he was gone. Halima was in shock when he was wrapped and shrouded in the white burial clothes and buried with prayers, leaving her and her 2 sons staring into a colder world. After his death, visitors flowed into their house. Relatives, neighbors, all brought condolences, and a lot of them came along with food. Halima knew how quickly sympathy dries when poverty lingers. She was right. After 7 days, when the silence settled, there was no money left, no savings, no house of her own. They were renting the home they lived in. She packed what little they had and moved to the boys' quarters of her sister's house, Bilkisu, who had a mansion in Yola. Although they lived in Abuja, but they had the holiday home in Yola. She did not move into the main house. She moved into the boys' quarters at the back of the place, which the family rarely used. To Halima, it was shelter. To Bilkisu, it was charity. To everyone else, a reminder: when you are strong, kindness flows freely. When you are weak, even kindness may run dry. Bilkisu was not happy with this arrangement. She hadn't agreed freely. Her husband, Senator Sarki, had insisted. He said to her, Halima has nowhere to go. Her in-laws, although they love her, they are poor. They cannot feed 3 more mouths. Wallahi, privilege comes in many forms: money, strength, knowledge. Whatever Allah gives you is a trust. Share it. This is how family stands. It was his way, his belief, and actions that has carried him from councillor to senator. But Bilkisu did not share his heart. She gave freely only to their mother. Everyone else she held at a distance, always calculating. To her relatives were a burden waiting to drain her, even though none had lived off her. In Ramadan and at Eid, when the senator gave his wives clothes, food, and envelopes for their families, the other wives distributed theirs with pride. Bilkisu often hoarded hers, sometimes selling the wrappers and keeping the cash. She only distributes the food because that was obvious. Their mother, Hajia Fadima, knew. She knew it was wrong to chain wealth while her family struggled, but fear kept her silent. Bilkisu was her richest child. A quarrel might close doors of luxury to her forever. So when Halima arrived with her boys, Bilkisu smiled for her husband and swallowed bitterness. To her, Halima was a mirror of everything she had tried to escape: poverty, struggle, the shame of being ordinary. Senator Sarki ordered the quarters cleaned and the generator serviced and gave Halima a small monthly stipend. Family is the backbone, he said, brushing aside all protests from Bilkisu. Whenever Bilkisu's family came down from Abuja, usually once a month, more during Ramadan and Eid, the house changed. Noise surged, orders flew around. From the first day, she found fault in Halima's stay in the house. She would scream, everywhere is dirty. She would wrinkle her nose. Even when the compound is swept several times, she would scream at Halima, Halima, make yourself useful. Clean properly before my children fall sick. In front of guests, Bilkisu will turn to Halima and turn her into a servant. Halima, make sobo and puff puff quickly. My guests are waiting. Then with a thin smile, she will turn to the room and say, don't mind her. She's in the boys' quarters. At least you should be useful. Halima lowered her head and endured until the children tasted Bilkisu's cruelty. One day, a quarrel broke out over a football between Habu and one of Bilkisu's sons. It was childish until Bilkisu's temper erupted. He stormed into the compound, seized Habu's wrist. You dare to fight in my house? You, a boy who eats my food for free. Before Halima could reach them, Bilkisu turned to her own son, slapped him. He hesitated. Her glare hardened him. One slap, and another, until Habu's cheek burned with fierce soaking his shirt. Then she snatched a leather belt and lashed him. Blisters rose where the belt fell. Please, auntie, stop, Aliyu cried, rushing to free his brother. Bilkisu swung blindly. The metal buckle caught Aliyu across the forehead, splitting his skin. Blood ran close to his left eye. For a heartbeat, even Bilkisu froze. Fear flickered. Had she gone too far? Halima pulled her boys close, tears mingling with Aliyu's blood. She cleaned the wood in silence, heart pounding with rage and helplessness. That night, in their small room, Aliyu, usually quiet, always staying strong for Habu, broke down. Mama, let's leave, he sobbed. Even if we sit on the street, even if we beg, let's move from this house. Please, Mama. Halima pulled her boys into her arms, their bodies trembling against hers. He whispered, my sons, listen to me. Life will not always be this bitter. Patience is not weakness, it is strength hidden in silence. The date palm does not grow in a day, yet when it bears fruit, it feeds a village. If we endure this storm with faith, Allah will open doors we cannot yet see. She wiped Aliyu's tears with the edge of her veil, her own voice thick with pain. But remember something else, my children. Never let pride blind you. Pride makes the heart deaf to advice and the eyes blind to blessing. Your uncle's wealth and your aunt's house, none of it will matter on the day of judgment. What matters is kindness, humility, and the way we carry each other's burdens. Never forget that. Aliyu sniffed, his sobs softening. Abu clutched his mother's waist more tightly in that dimly lit room, scarred by cruelty but warmed by love. Halima planted in her children the lesson that will one day shape the men they would become. She did not sleep. Aliyu's word throbbed with in her chest like a wound. By dawn, she had decided she would not wait for Bilkisu's kindness. If she would protect her children, she needed footing of her own, no matter how small. She wore her hijab in the morning and walked next door to Saadatu, Bilkisu's next house neighbor, a businessman's wife she sometimes helped during big gatherings. Halima requested her to employ her as a help in her house. Saadatu's eyes softened. You want to be a house help? Yes, Halima answered quietly. Saadatu thought for a while, then said gently, no, let me speak to my husband. He might have a better job for you in his company. That evening, Saadatu's husband, Alhaji Ibrahim, agreed. Bring her tomorrow, he said. We need a new cleaner in the office. The pay is small but steady. It was honest money. Soon Halima noticed staff often wanted small bites. There was no kiosk or shop around the office. With permission, she began bringing sopo, chin-chin, roasted granules, buns, which she sells during her break. A few sales became many. By month's end, her side hustle doubled her income. She managed and humbled herself in the office. She cooks every day for her boys to take to school, and she brings her own food to work. Although she was poor, she still shared the food with some of the junior staff. Word got around of how tasty her food is. One afternoon, a senior manager asked, Halima, I heard you're a good cook. That soup you cooked last week, the miyan cooker, everyone is talking about it. Did you cook it? Yes, sir, she said, tuwo miyan cooker. I cooked it. The manager said, my family is in Bauchi. I need soup for the freezer. Can you prepare bowls for me? I will pay you. Or by Friday, she delivered 3 steaming bowls of local soup, seasoned with care. The praise from the manager spread. 2 more people ordered the following week. Her small trade became a business, not for pity, but just to show her resilience. Since the Habu incident, even Bilkisu grew quiet. The reason was clear. Senator Sarki, when he heard what had happened, his anger had thundered. You almost blinded a child, he said, in the inner sitting room. Your sister's child, is this the mother you are? For the first time, Bilkisu had no answer. For days, tension sat between them. Her co-wives were also whispering. Halima had turned pain into fuel. He saved every naira. After a year, she found a small one-bedroom flat in a safe compound. Not fancy, but theirs. A place where laughter could flow without fear. On moving day, Aliu ran from corner to corner, grinning. Mama, this is our own house? Truly ours? Yes, he said. Ours. No one will raise a hand against you here. Senator Sarki tried to persuade her to stay. Halima, you can stay. Don't go out and suffer alone. She bowed, her voice steady. You have you have been more than a brother to me. Only Allah can reward you for your kindness. But I must learn to stand on my own, especially because I am bringing up boys. Don't worry about us. We are going to be okay. He studied her and then gave her 500,000 naira. Take this. If anything troubles you, call me directly. Don't pass through anyone. Please, Halima, I beg you. Call me directly. Do you hear me? He said, Yes, I've heard you. May Allah bless you for all your kindness to us. That night, as they made their beds in their new house, Aliyu murmured in the dark, Mama, we are free now. For the first time since Ismaila's death, Halima slept with a smile. At the doorway of her little flat, she watched her boys chase each other in the compound. Their laughter rang free, unburdened, and she felt richer than she had in years. The scars of Bilkisu's cruelty remained, but Halima understood something. Kindness may run dry from people, but Allah's mercy never runs out. This was only the beginning. Ahead lay struggle, work, perhaps new storms. But for the first time, she and her boys stood on their own ground. This is the end of part one. When kindness runs dry, Halima's story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time on Northern Tales, where the journey continues.